So today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different on car stories. I'm going to be telling you stories not of mine, but of my parents. So back in the late 80s and early 90s, my parents were car dealers, and they primarily dealt in, at that time, classic stuff. So old Cadillacs, or talking 50s and 60s mostly is what they did. But a lot of the work was documented, and I was cleaning up the house the other day, and I found the old photo album here. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to sit down and show y'all some of the stuff that my parents had did, mostly my dad's restoration work. And let me tell you what, my dad is way better than I am when it comes to actual restoring. He's a perfectionist, and it showed in his work. So yeah, I'm gonna reposition the camera here so y'all can kind of see what's going on, and yeah, we'll take a look at it. So yeah, we're gonna start right here, and I should probably scan these, but my scanner tool's messed up and all that stuff, so we're gonna do this old school. So this right here is a 1956 Cadillac that they had gotten. My dad did the paint job and everything on it right here. So this was it sanded down, and let's duplicate interior of the car when he was done with it. And there's the car afterwards. So laid down that his old 70s Ford Ranger. He hated that truck with a passion. I still give him crap about it this day. I'm like, yeah, man, you need to get rid of your 2019 Ram and go get you a 70s Ranger. That'll make you feel good. But if you look in the background, you can see the Buick that I just put back together myself. Yeah, my dad definitely put down better Cadillac paint jobs than me. So this guy right here was interesting little car. It's called a Jensen Interceptor. They were British cars, and they came over here, but what was interesting about them is they had Mopar engines in them. This one had a 440 Mopar, and the interesting thing about them, or the annoying thing about them, is, again, they're British. It doesn't really get that hot over there, but you bring a small car with a big Mopar engine and a tiny radiator to Texas, and they overheat something fierce. It's a major problem with these cars. And this is one that's kind of a, it's a little bit too rare. Nobody knew what this car was. Nobody still knows what this car is to this very day. And this car didn't exactly sell well for my parents. The only money they made off from it was the $50 from the toolkit. But my dad did the paint job on it and got it all together, and there's a big old 440 jammed under that little bitty hood. So this right here was a 64 Ford Galaxy Convertible. Old Polaroids haven't really held up that well, but this is the before shots and all that stuff. There's my sister when she was real little. This is probably before I was born. My dad, when he was my age or a little bit younger than me even, but doing the paint work and everything on it. This right here is Dad's old OBS Chevrolet. It was a 93 short bed 350. I rode around in this truck a lot when I was a kid. It was a company truck though, and the boss man had taken it away from him and gave him some crappy Ford Ranger. But I always liked that truck. I wish he had it. Okay. This right here is a 61 Cadillac Convertible. And my dad did everything on this car. He did paint, he did interior, try to keep the light glare off from it. But that's my dad posing with the car itself. He did the complete interior work on this and everything. He had the roses embroidered on it, everything there, and so. Cover up phone numbers, don't want people calling long ancient numbers. But interesting thing about it is this ad after they sold it, this guy says 61 Cadillac Eldorado Brits convertible, fully restored, hot pink white interior, made for a rock video, which was a total fabricated crock because that thing was never featured in a rock video. But yeah, that's people, sellers lied even back then. Now this right here is the showpiece of my dad's career. This was a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air Convertible. And they brought this car home in boxes. So it was completely and totally apart. My dad had to get a parts car. I think it took him a year, but he put this thing completely back together to full show quality standards. And that's my mom and my uncle sitting in the car, but my dad put that car back together really, really well. It's the one car that my parents regret selling. Well, my mom regrets selling anyway. My dad regrets selling his 69 Mach 1. But yeah, my dad, he did seriously high quality work on that car. This right here was, I believe, a 72 Chevelle Ss396. This car never did run right. It's one of them that bothers my dad to this day. He believes it was the carburetor that was too small on it, but never ran quite right. But boy, did it look good. That's my mom and sister in that 64 Ford convertible after he was done with it. Jensen Interceptor truck of the Ss396, more of the Ss396, and that particular engine on that car. And they had some Buick convertible. I don't really know the story behind that one myself. I'll have to ask my mom. An old Chevy Corvette Stingray that they had that was sunflower yellow. This car was interesting because the bank advised the lady to not buy it, but she bought it because of the interior. The interior was a tan camel interior with that yellow, and she absolutely loved the car and told them she didn't care what they thought and she wanted it anyway, and they loaned out the money on it. And that looks to be the end of the line on it. So yeah, that's been the story of my parents' car restoration career. They have more of them, but those photos were either never made or hiding somewhere else. If I find other photo albums, I can look into it and make a sequel to this video. But yeah, that's pretty much where I got the bug. And I remember, having all these cars as I was growing up. I never wanted my parents to sell any of them. I was always going to keep them, and it has stuck with me to this day because I still enjoy the old cars. I still enjoy working on them and cleaning them. One of the old videos or home movies or photo albums is a picture of me when I'm about 3 or 4 years old helping my dad sand on a C3 Corvette. So yeah, that's pretty much where my story came from. And yeah, as always, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you enjoyed these videos and you want to see more. If you have a car story, drop a comment down below because I'd love to hear it.